Good morning, students. This is Sivakrishna from the Department of Mechanical Engineering, DPS Institute of Technology, Kavali. Today I am going to presentation on design of power screws. So this is the continuation topic from the Unit 2, design of power screws, screw jack. So screw jack is the last topic from the Unit 2. So in last class we can discuss about the coefficient of friction, ACME or trapezoidal threads, and problems on ACME threads, stresses in power screws, problems on power screws. So this is the last class can discussing about the PPT. Today I can discuss about the screw jack, design of screw jack and problems of screw jack, differential and compound screws. Finally, the problems of differential and compound screws problem. So this is the today topic. Today topic is the last topic from the Unit 2 in design of mission members 2. So let us start the class. Design of screw jack. A bottle screw jack for lifting load as shown in the figure. The various parts of the screw jack are as follows. So you can see the figure. A bottle screw jack is screw jack is used to lifting the load. As shown in the figure, the various parts of the screw jack as follows: screwed spindle having square threaded screws, nut and collar for nut, head at the top of the screwed spindle for handle, cup at the top of head for the load, and body of the screw jack. So these are the parts of the screw jack. Let us see the diagram. So this is the diagram of the screw jack. So body height, lifting height, screwed spindle. So this one is a base, a nut, head, handle. So by using the handle is rotating purpose, and cup. So this is the diagram of the screw jack. So in order to design the screw jack for load W, the following procedure may be adopted. For designing the screw jack, the following procedure is to be formed. So what is the procedure for design the screw jack? First of all, find the core diameter. So DC is a core diameter. First you can find the core diameter by considering the screw is under pure compression. So first of all, find the core diameter by considering the screw under pure compression, that is load W equal to sigma C into AC. So A equal to pi by 4 D square. So this is the standard formula. W equal to sigma C into AC. Substitute in the values. Sigma C into pi by 4 into DC square. The standard proportions of this screw headed square headed screw as a fixed table. So you can see the table in the Jaladin data book. Standard square screws, standard square threaded screws. So it is used to design the screw jack. Basic dimension of the design profile in ISO standards. So you can see the tabular form. Next you can see the diagram. So diameter D1. So this is the D1 and D2, D3 inner diameter, D4, D5, D6, D7. D6 inner diameter, D7 outer diameter. So T2 is a thickness, T3 is another thickness, T1 is a thickness, height H, lifting height. The distance between the height and lifting height is height. Total body is body height. Head, handle length. The distance between the load to the handle length is W. So let us start the procedure. So find the torque T1 required to rotate the screw and find the shear stress tau due to this torque. We know that the torque required to lift the load. So when the torque required to lift the load, so next procedure is, so first you can calculate the core diameter and W can be calculated. So next T1 should be the T1 torque is to be calculated. Rotate the screw, find the shear stress by adding the tau due to this torque T1 equal to P into d by 2. Since P equal to W tan alpha plus pi, this is the formula in last previous classes you can see, where P is the effort required at the circumference of the screw and d equal to mean diameter of the screw. Therefore, shear stress due to torque T1 equal to tau into 16 T1 by pi into dc cube. Also find the direct compressive stress sigma c due to axial load applied. Sigma c equal to W into pi by 4 dc square. Next, another step is find the principal stresses as follows. So next you can find the principal stresses, maximum principal stresses, tensile or compressive, and maximum shear stresses. So these are the maximum principal stresses used to calculate the screw jack design procedure. So sigma c maximum equal to half into sigma c plus square root of sigma c whole square plus 4 tau square. This is the sigma maximum compressive stress, and maximum shear stress tau max is equal to 1 by 2 into square root of sigma c whole square plus 4 tau square. These stresses should be less than the permissible stresses. So these principal stresses are both sigma and maximum shear stress and minimum principal stresses are less than the permissible stresses. So next we can find the height of the nut H. Considering the bearing pressure of the nut, we know that the bearing pressure of the nut Pb equal to W by pi by 4 into d naught square minus dc square into N, where N is the number of threads in contact with the screwed spindle. Therefore, height of the nut H is equal to N into P, where P is the pitch of the thread. So this is the find the height of the nut. So next step, check the stresses in the screw and the nut as follows. Tau screw is equal to W by pi dc into Nt. Tau nut is equal to W by pi into N into d naught into T, where T is the thickness of the screw equal to P by 2. So next step, find inner diameter D1, outer diameter D2 and thickness T1 of the nut collar. The inner diameter D1 is found by considering the tearing strength of the nut. So we know that W equal to pi by 4 into D1 square minus small d naught whole square into sigma T. Next you can calculate the outer diameter D2, we found the considering the crushing strength of the nut collar. We know that W equal to pi by 4 D2 square minus D1 square into sigma C. The thickness T1 of the nut collar is found by considering the shearing strength of the nut collar. So we know that W equal to pi D1 T1 into tau. So this is the sixth step. So we can calculate the inner diameter and outer diameter D1 and D2. And finally thickness we can calculate in this step. So next step, seventh step, fix the dimensions for the diameter of the head D3 of the top of the screw and the cup taken. D3 equal to 1.75 into D0. The set for the cup is made equal to the diameter of the head and it is chamfered at the top. The cup is fitted with a pin of diameter d4 equal to d3 power d3 by 4 approximately. This pin remains a loose fit in the cup. So next step. Next, find the torque required T2, which can be calculated to overcome friction at the top screw. So we know that T2 equal to 2 by 3 into mu1 into W R3 whole cube minus R power R4 whole cube by R3 whole square minus R4 whole square. So assuming this is a uniform pressure condition. So next we can non-uniform pressure condition. The torque formula is T2 equal to 2 by 3 into mu c into W into R3 whole cube minus R4 whole cube by R3 whole square minus R2 whole square. So this formula is also seen in the Jaladan data book. So torque required to overcome the collar friction. So uniform pressure condition. So this formula is given to the Jaladan data book also. So next, by assuming the uniform wear condition, the torque formula T2 equal to mu1 into omega W R1 plus R2 by 2 in. So this is the assuming under uniform wear condition. This formula is also seen in the Jaladan data book. So T2 equal to mu1 into W into R3 plus R4 by 2, that equal to mu1 omega into R. Since R is equal to R1 plus R3 plus R2 by 2, where R3 is equal to radius of the head and R4 is equal to radius of the pin. Now next step, now the total torque which the handle will be subjected is given by total torque T is equal to T1 plus T2. T1 already calculated in previous steps. T1 plus T2. T is equal to T1 plus T2. So assuming that the person can apply force of 300 to 400 Newton intermittently, the length of the handle required T by 300. The length of the handle may be fixed by giving some allowances for gripping. Next, we can calculate the diameter of the handle. So the dia of the handle, capital D, may be obtained by considering the bending effects. So we know that the bending moment M is equal to pi by 32 into sigma b into d cube. Since sigma b equal to sigma b, sigma t or sigma c. So you can substituting sigma b is sigma t or sigma c. So M is equal to pi by 32 into sigma b into d cube. So next step, 11th step, the height of the head, capital H, is usually taken as a twice of the diameter of the handle. That is, capital H is equal to 2d. So the height is taken as twice of the diameter. That means height is equal to 2d. So now check this screw for buckling load. So effective length or unsupported length of the screw L is equal to lift of screw plus half into height of the nut. So we know that the buckling or critical load WCR is equal to AC into sigma y into 1 minus sigma y by 4 into C into pi square into E L by K whole square. This is the buckling or critical load formula. So you can calculate it. So WCR, where sigma y is the yield strength, capital C is end fixity coefficient. The screw is considered to be shut with the lower end fixed at the lower end free. For one end fixed and the other end is free. Since C is equal to 0.25, this is the standard. So substitute in the values. So K is the radius of the gyration, that equal to 0.25 into dc. So this one is also the standard formula. The buckling load is as obtained by the above expression must be. So by applying those values, so substituting the values, so we can calculate the buckling load. So obtained by the above expression must be higher than the load at which the screw is designed. So the buckling load as obtained by the above expression must be higher than the load at must which be screw is designed. So this is the procedure we can the buckling or critical load is applied. So that's why the screw will be designed. Next law. Next step, fix the dimensions for the body of the screw jack. So next we can fix the dimensions for the total entire body of the screw jack. Last step we can find the efficiency of the screw jack. So what is the efficiency of the screw jack? We can find it. So this is the design procedure for the screw jack. So next we can discuss about the problems on screw jack. A screw jack is to lift a load of 80 kilonewton through a height of 400 mm. The elastic strength of the screw material is tension and compression is 200 megapascals and is a shear 120 megapascals. The material for nut is Prosper bronze, for which the elastic limit may be taken as 100 megapascals in tension, 90 megapascals in compression, and 80 megapascals in shear. The bearing pressure between the nut and the screw not to exceed 18 Newton per mm square. So next to find out the calculations, design and draw the screw jack. Next we can design and draw the screw jack. The design should be included the design of. So what is this calculation? The find the screw, nut, handle and cup, and finally body. So we can calculate it. Design the first we can design the screw, next design the nut, next we can design the handle and cup, finally we can design the total body of the screw jack. So this is the problem is given in the given to the problem. Next, first of all, you can note down the given data. So next, load given weight W equal to 80 kilonewton, that equal to 8 into 10 cube newtons. Height H1 is equal to 400 mm, that equal to 0.4 meters. Sigma ET, that equal to sigma AC equal to 200 megapascals, that equal to 200 Newton per mm square. Next, tau C is equal to 120 megapascals, that is equal to 120 Newton per mm square. Sigma ET nut, that equal to 100 megapascals, that equal to 100 Newton per mm square. Next, sigma EC nut, that equal to 90 megapascals, equal to 90 Newton per mm square. Tau E nut is equal to 80 megapascal, that equal to 80 Newton per mm square. So finally, PB equal to 18 Newton per mm square. So the various parts of this screw jack are designed as discussed below. So we can discuss it one by one, the various parts of this screw jack. So this is the diagram. We can see we can design the procedure. The final you can draw the diagram. So this is the full body, handle and cup, and screw. So first you can see the screw. So screw is this one is a screw. The thread is given. So this is the screw. So the top of the screw you can arrange the cup and a handle. Next, final look in the body is given. So this is the total body of the screw jack. So this. So you can calculate the problem. So this is the we can design the one by one. So we can draw the diagram also. So this is the diagram representation of the screw jack. So first of all, you can design the screw for spindle. So first you can design the design of a screw for spindle. Let BC is the core diameter of the screw. Since the screw is under compression, therefore load W. So W equal to pi by 4 into d square. This is the formula. W equal pi by 4 into d square into sigma AC by Fs. Fs means factor of safety. So substituting the values. So first of all, you can note down the load W equal to pi by 4 into d square into sigma EC by Fs. This is the formula. Substitute the values. W equal to 80 into 10 cube. That equal pi by 4 into dc square into sigma c by Fs. So taking factor of safety is 2. This is the standard one. So this value is taken to the tabular column. So pi by 4 into dc square. So sigma AC already given. Sigma AC equal to, so you can see sigma AC equal to 200 megapascals. 200 by 2 factor of safety 2. So finally calculating 78.55 dc square. Therefore, dc square is equal to 80 into 10 cube divided by 78.55. So dc is equal to 10,000. Sorry, 1018.5. So we can find in the dc. Therefore, dc is equal to square root of 10,018.5. So this will be calculating dc is equal to 32 Nm. For square thread of normal series, the following dimensions of the screw are selected from the table. So 17.2. So we can see the tabular column. So we can, for square thread of normal series, the following dimensions we can take in. So for DC equal to 32, we can see the tabular column in the Janardhan data book. So core diameter DC is equal to 38 and a nominal or outside diameter of the spindle D0 is equal to 46. Next, pitch of the thread P is equal to 8 mm. So this is the tabular column. You can see the Janardhan data book, page number 8.25. So the basic dimensions for this screw thread and normal series. So we can see the core diameter DC equal to 38 and D0 nominal or outside diameter D0 is equal to 46. So diameter 46 and pitch is equal to pitch of the thread P is equal to 8. So already taken into the Janardhan data book, page number 8.26. And finally, let's check the principal stresses. We know that the main diameter of the screw small d is equal to D0 plus DC by 2. D0 plus DC by 2, that is equal to, so DC 46 plus 38 divided by 2, that is equal to 42. Finally, you can calculate small d is equal to 42 mm, and you can calculate the tan alpha. So tan alpha equal to P by pi d. Pitch is equal to 8 mm is already taken into the tabular column by seeing the Janardhan data book in 18.25 and 26. So tan alpha equal to P by pi by 2, pi by d, 8 by pi into 42. So tan alpha equal to 0.0606. So assuming the coefficient of friction between the screw and nut, mu is equal to tan pi equal to 0.14. So next we can calculate the torque required to rotate the screw in the nut. So T1 is equal to P into D by 2, that equal to W into tan alpha plus pi into D by 2, that equal to W into tan alpha plus tan pi by 1 minus tan alpha tan pi. So this is the formula for the tan alpha plus pi, and that means tan A plus B, since tan A plus B equal to tan A plus tan B by 1 minus tan A tan B. This is the formula we can replace in the tan alpha plus pi. So tan alpha plus pi equal to tan alpha tan pi by 1 minus tan alpha tan pi into D by 2. So substitute in the values. T1 is equal to W 80 into 10 cube, tan alpha 0.0606 plus tan pi 0.14 divided by 1 minus tan alpha 0.0606 into tan pi 0.14 into small d 42 divided by 2, that equal to, finally calculating, T1 is equal to 340 into 10 cube Newton millimeter. Now compressive stresses due to axial load. So by applying the compressive stresses in axial load, sigma C is equal to W by AC. Since A equal to pi by 4 D square, so AC means pi by 4 into DC square. So substituting the values, W equal to 8 into 10 cube by pi by 4 into DC 38 whole square. So next you can calculating this compressive stress, sigma C is equal to 70.53 Newton per mm square. And you can calculate the shear stress due to the torque. The torque tau is equal to 16 into T1 by pi into DC cube. So substitute the value 16 into 340 by into 10 cube by pi into DC 38 whole cube. So we can calculate shear stress tau is equal to 31.55 Newton per mm square. So therefore maximum principal stresses, compressive or tensile. So sigma C max is equal to 1 by 2 into sigma C plus square root of sigma C whole square plus 4 tau square. So this formula already seen in the design procedure of the screw job. So tau max is equal to sigma C max is equal to 1 by 2 into square root of sigma C plus square root of sigma C whole square plus 4 tau square. This formula is taken into the problem. So substitute in the value, so half into sigma C 70.53 plus 70 square root of 70.53 whole square plus 4 into tau 31.55 whole square. So next you can calculating sigma C max is equal to 1 by 2 into 70.53 plus 94.63. Finally you can calculate sigma C max is equal to 82.58 Newton per mm square. So this is the maximum principal stresses in tensile or compressive. So the given value sigma C is equal to the sigma C by Fs. So that is 200 divided by 2, that equal to 100 Newton per mm square. So we know that the maximum shear stress tau max is equal to 1 by 2 into square root of sigma C whole square plus 4 tau square. So this formula also seen in the design procedure of this screw job. So tau max is equal to 1 by 2 into square root of sigma C whole square plus 4 tau square. So substitute in the values, we can calculate the sigma max half into square root of 70.53 whole square plus 4 into 31.55 whole square. So finally look at calculating tau max is equal to 47.315 Newton per mm square. So the value is, the given value of tau is equal to tau maximum by factor of safety, that is 120 divided by 2, that equal to 60 Newton per mm square. Since these maximum stresses are within limits, therefore the design of the screw spindle is safe. So we can calculate the tau max is a 47.315. So by given in the problem is 120 tau max. So the tau max 120 divided by 2 is a 60. So the given maximum value is the less than for the given value 60. That's why the maximum shear stresses are designed within the limits. That's why the design of the screw spindle is safe. So next we can discuss about the design for nut. So what is the design for nut? So let Small n is the number of threads in contact with the screw spindle. So small h is the height of the nut, that equal to n into p, and T is the thickness of the screw, that equal to P by 2, that equal to pitch is already taken to the previous step, pitch is equal to 8, 8 by 2 equal to 4 mm, thickness is 4 mm. So assuming that the load is distributed uniformly over the cross sectional area of the nut, so we know that the bearing pressure PB equal to W by pi by 4 into d naught square minus dc square. So this formula is also given into the design procedure. So let me see. So PB equal to W by pi by 4 into d naught square minus dc square into n. So this is the height of the nut. We can design the nut. So that's how we can create using this formula. So design for the nut. So substitute the values. PB is already given. PB equal to 18 divided by W 80 into 10 cube by pi by 4 into d naught 46 whole square minus dc 38 whole square into n. So we can calculate the design for the nut. That means so n will be calculated. So finally we can calculating 18 equal to 151.6 by n. So therefore n is equal to 151.6 divided by 18, that is equal to 8.4. So this will be rounded to 10 threads. So therefore the design of the nut n is equal to 10 threads, and height of the nut h is equal to n into p. So n is already calculating above, n equal to 10, pitch is equal to 80. Therefore the height of the nut is total height of the nut is h is equal to 80 mm. So this one is the nut height of the, so this is the nut, the total height of the nut is 80 mm. So we can calculating and designing of the nut. Now let us check the stress induced in the screw and the nut. So stresses induced in the screw and nuts are, so we know that the shear stress is in the screw, tau screw is equal to W by pi into N into dc into T. So this formula is also given into the given procedure. So check the stresses in the screws and the nut follower. So first we can check the screws and nut follower. Tau screw is equal to W into pi into dc into T. So this formula is taken into the problem. So now we can check the stresses in the screw. So substitute the values W 80 into 10 cube by pi into n into 10. So DC 38 into 4. So tau screw is equal to 16.15 Newton per mm square. Since T is equal to P by T, so P means pitch by pitch is 8 by 2, that is equal to 4, 2 4 are 8. That's why since T is equal to 4 mm, so this T equal to 4 mm substitute in the above formula. And shear stress in the nut. So shear stress in the nut is equal to W by pi into N into d naught T. So this formula is also given taken into the design of the screw. Tau nut is equal to pi into W by pi into N into d naught into T. So substitute the values W 80 into 10 cube by pi into N 10. So d naught 46 into T 4. So we can calculating tau nut is equal to 13.84 Newton per mm square. Since these stresses are within the permissible limit, so compared to the both stresses, both stresses are within a permissible limit. Therefore, the design of the nut is also safe. Let capital D1 is outer diameter of the nut, D2 is the outside diameter of the nut collar, and T1 equal to thickness of the nut. So first of all, considering the tearing strength of the nut, so we have W equal to pi by 4 into D1 D d1 square minus d naught whole square into sigma t. So this formula also given into the design procedure of the screw So we can calculate the inner diameter W equal to pi by 4 into d1 square minus d0 whole square into sigma t. So this is the, we can calculate the inner diameter of the screw. Next we can calculate the outer diameter of the screw. This is the step by procedure we can calculate in the problem. So that's why we can see the design procedure and problem simultaneously. We can change the both, so not confusing. So we can calculate the inner diameter W equal to pi by 4 into d1 square minus d0 whole square into sigma t. So substituting the values, so W 80 into 10 cube, that equal to pi by 4 into d1 square, d1 we can calculating, d0 46 whole square into sigma t 100 by 2. Since sigma t is equal to sigma ET nut by factor of safety, since sigma ET equal to sigma ET nut, so substitute sigma ET nut is already given in the problem. So sigma ET nut is 100 megapascals, or 100 divided by factor of safety. So factor of safety is 2. So taking factor of safety is 2. That's why you can note down the 2. So 100 divided by 2 equal to 50. So that's why you can note down the sigma t is equal to 100 by 2. Since sigma t is equal to sigma et not by factor of safety fs. That's why sigma et equal to 100, fs is equal to 2. That's why you can add down the 100 by 2. So the 8 into 10 cube equal to 39.3 into d1 square minus 2160, or d1 square minus 2116 is equal to 80 into 10 cube divided by 39.3, that equal to 2036. Therefore d1 square is equal to 2036 plus 2116, that equal to 4152. This is the d1 square. Since d1 is equal to square root of 4152, so d1 is the 65 mm. So therefore we can calculate the inner diameter d1 is equal to 65 mm. So next you can calculate the crushing of the collar of the nut. So we have, so d2, next we can calculate in the d2, W equal to pi by 4 into d2 square minus d1 whole square into sigma c. So W equal to 80 into 10 cube, that equal to pi by 4. So d1 d2, next we can calculating. So d1 65 already calculating the previous above. So you can see the above d1 is calculated, this d1 is 65 whole square, that equal to sigma c. Since sigma c is equal to sigma ec nut by factor of safety. So since sigma ec nut is already given to the problem, sigma ec nut is equal to, ec nut is 90 megapascals already given in the problem. So substitute in the values, so sigma ec is equal to 90 by 2. So we can calculating that equal to 35.3 into d2 square minus 4225, or d2 square minus 4225 divided by, that is equal to 80 into 10 cube divided by 35.3. So we can calculating the final value is 2266. Therefore d2 square is equal to 2266 plus 4225. So adding the both, that equal to 6491. This is the final result of the d2 square. So but we can calculating the d2. So d2 is equal to square root of 6491. So now we can calculate the value is 80.6. So therefore d2 is equal to 80.6. This will be rounded to, so we can say the d2 equal to 82 mm. So next we can calculate it considering the shear of the collar of the nut. We have W equal to pi into d1 into t1 into tau. So substituting the values, W 8 into 10 cube into pi, d1 65 into t1. So t1 are calculating into tau. Since tau is equal to tau E nut by Fs, factor of safety, so tau E nut is already given to the problem. So see the given data, tau E nut is equal to 80 megapascals. Finally, the formula is also taken into the design of the screw jack in the sixth step, W equal to pi into d1 into t1 into tau. So that's how we can solve the, we can note down the formula for the given problem. So next we can calculate the tau is equal to 80 by 2. Next we can calculate the value 8170 into t1. Therefore, t1 is equal to 80 into 10 cube divided by 8170. So this will be rounded to calculate the value. The value is 9.8. So this will be rounded to 10. Therefore, the thickness of the T1 is 10 mm. So next step, we can calculate the design for handle and cup. So the diameter of the head D3 on the top of the screw rod, usually the taken is 1.75 times the outer diameter of the screw D0. So D3 is equal to 1.75 into D0. So this will be taken to the seventh step. D3 is equal to 1.75 into D0. So the design procedure of the screw jack is you can calculate the problem in the same manner, same order also. So that's how you can note down the D3 is equal to 1.75 into D0. So next we can calculate the D3 also. D3 is equal to 1.75 into D0. So D0 is 46. That equal 80.5. So let me say the 82 mm. So we can calculate the D1, D2, D3 also. D1 is equal to 65, D2 is equal to 82, and finally D3 is equal to 82 mm. The head is provided with two holes at the right angle to receive the handle for rotating the screw. The set for the cup is made equal to the diameter of the head, that is 82 mm. Is given chamber at the top. The cup prevents the load from the rotating. The cup is fitted to the head with the pin diameter D4 equal to 40 mm. Therefore, the pin remains the loose fit in the cup. So other dimensions for the cup may be taken as follows. So other dimensions, the pin remains the loose fit of the cup. So next we can calculate the other dimensions of the cup may be taken as follows in the another sequence manner. The height of the cup is 50 mm. Thickness of the cup is 10 mm. Diameter at the top of the cup is 160 mm. Now let us find the torque required. So T2. Next we can find the torque required T2. So we can find in the formula torque required T2 is also given in the Jaladan data book. The page number is 8.9. The torque required to overcome the collar friction. T is equal to mu C 2 by 3 into mu C mu1 is W into R3 cube minus R4 cube by R3 cube R3 square minus R4 square. So substituting the values. So since assuming mu1 is equal to mu, so 2 by 3 into 0.14 into 80 into 10 cube R3 82 by 2 into whole cube. So R3 means D3 by 2. That's how you can calculate it in 82 by 2. 82 by 2 minus R4. So R4 means D4. D4 is 20. That's why R4 is equal to 20 by 2 whole cube divided by 82 by 2 whole square minus 20 by 2 whole square. That equal to, so 7.47 into 10 cube by 41 whole cube minus 10 cube by 41 square minus 10 square. So you can cancellation the 41 on numerator and denominator 41 and 10. So finally you can calculating T2 is equal to 321 into 10 cube Newton mm. So therefore finally we can calculate the total torque to which the spindle is subjected to. Total torque T is equal to T1 plus T2. So T1 is equal to 340 into 10 cube plus T2 is equal to 321 into 10 cube. So finally total torque T is equal to 661 into 10 cube Newton millimeter. So assuming the force of 300 Newton is applied by a person intermittently, therefore the length of the handle is required, that equal to 661 into 10 cube divided by 300, that equal to 2203 mm, allowing some length for gripping. So we shall be taken length of the handle as 2250 mm. So the total length of the handle is 2250 mm. So next continuation, a little consideration will show that an exhaustive force applied at the end of the level will cause bending. Considering bending effect, the maximum bending moment of the handle M is equal to force applied into length of the level. So the force applied 300 is applied for the force, so intermittently. So last step you can see. So force 300 into 2250, that is the length of the level, that equal to 675 into 10 cube Newton mm. So let capital D is the diameter of the handle. So assuming that the material of the handle is same as that of screw, therefore taking bending stresses sigma B is equal to sigma T equal to sigma ET by 2. So sigma B or sigma ET or sigma T, that equal to 100. Finally the value is 100 Newton per mm square. So we know that the bending moment M is equal to pi by 32 into sigma B into D3 D cube. So this is the step. So and we can see the ninth step also. T is equal to total torque T1 plus T2 you can calculating. So the person applied 300 to 400 the range intermediately. So T by 30 300. So you can also calculating this step also. So next you can calculate the bending moment. M is equal to pi by 30 into sigma B into D cube. This is the 10th step. So this way you can, this step is taken to the problem. So dWm is equal to pi by 32 into sigma B into D cube. Substitute in the value. So M 675 into 10 cube. So already calculated in the above. That equal to pi by 32 into sigma B into D cube. Pi by 32 into 100 into D cube. So 9.82 into D square D cube. Therefore D cube is equal to 675 into 10 cube divided by 9.82. That equal to 68.75 into 10 cube, or D is equal to cube root of 68.75 into 10 cube, that equal to capital D equal to 40.96. So this will be say rounded to D, capital D is equal to 42 mm. So the height of the head H is taken is 2D. So 2 times from the increasing it 2 times from the head. Therefore H is equal to 2D. So this step is seen in the next procedure. Height H is equal to twice of the diameter of the handle. H is equal to 2D. That's why H is equal to 2D is taken. H is equal to 2 into D, D equal to 42. Total that equal to height of the head H is equal to 84 mm. Now let us check the screw for buckling load. So next you can checking the buckling load. So we know that the effective length of the buckling of the screw. So effective length of the buckling of the screw L is equal to lift of the screw plus half into height of the nut. So this formula is also taken from the design procedure. So this is the formula. Buckling load L is equal to lift of the screw plus half into height of the nut. This formula is taken into the problem. So now you can calculating L is the lift of the screw 400 plus height of the nut 80 by 2, that is equal to 440 mm. So we know that when the screw reaches the maximum lift, it can be regarded as a strut whose lower end is fixed and the load end is free. So we know that the critical load, so WCR is equal to AC into sigma y into 1 minus sigma y by 4c pi square into E into L by K whole square. So critical load, so critical WCR, critical load is already taken into the, already seen in the Jala design procedure. WCR equal to AC sigma y into 1 minus sigma y 4c pi square into E into Lk whole square, where K is the radius of gyration 0.25 into dc. So this values is substituting the problem. So next you can calculating WC. So for one end it is fixed, other end is a free. C is a 0.25. This is the standard one. K is equal to 0.25 into DC. So 0.25 into 30, that equal 9.5. So substitute the values. Therefore WCR is equal to pi by 4 into 38 whole square into 200 into 1 minus 200 divided by 4 into 0.25 into pi square into 210 into 10 cube. So therefore you can calculating WCR is equal to 2,26,852 into 1 minus 0.207, that equal to 1,79,894 Newton. Since the critical load is more than the load at the width at which the screw is designed, that is 80 into 10 cube Newton, therefore there is no chance of the screw to buckling. So we can see the problem, the design of, since the critical load is more than the load, so the critical load is 1,79,894. So by is given to the problem is 80 into 10 cube Newton. So compared to the problem, we can calculate the critical load is more than the critical load. That's why there is no buckling is created for the screw. So next step, we can calculate the design of body. So this is the last step. So we can calculate the design of the body. The various dimensions of the body may be fixed as follows. The diameter of the body at the top, D5 is equal to 1.5 into D2. So that equal to 1.5 into 82, that equal to 123 mm. So thickness of the body T3 is equal to 0.25 into D0, that equal to 0.25 into 46, that equal to 11.5. This will be rounded to 12 mm. The inside diameter at the bottom D6 is equal to 2.25 into D2, that equal to 2.25 into 82, that equal to 185 mm. Outside diameter of the bottom D7 is equal to 1.76 into D6, that equal to 1.75 into 185, that is equal to 320 mm. So next, thickness of the base T2 is equal to 2T1, that equal to 2 into 10, that equal to 20 mm. The height of the body, maximum lift plus height of the nut plus 100 mm extra. This is the maximum height of the body, that equal to 400 plus 80 plus 100, that equal to 580 mm. See, the body is made tapered in order to achieve stability of jack. So let us now find out the efficiency of the screw jack. So we know that the torque required to rotate the screw with no friction, T0 is equal to W tan alpha into D by 2, that is equal to 80 into 10 cube into 0.0606 into 42 by 2. So finally you can calculating the T naught is equal to 1,01,808 Newton mm. So finally you can calculate the efficiency of this screw jack. Therefore efficiency of this screw jack eta is equal to T naught by T, that equal to 1,01,808 divided by 661 into 10 cube, that equal to 0.154 or 15.4%. So efficiency of the screw jack is eta is equal to 15.4%. So this is the problem of screw jack. So this is the design procedure for the problems on screw jack. So next, differential and compound screws. There are certain cases in which a very slow movement of the screw is required, whereas in other cases a very fast movement of the screw is needed. The slow movement of the screw may be obtained by using the small pitch of the thread, but its result is weak thread. The fast movement of the thread may be obtained by using the multiple start thread, but this method requires expensive machining and lot of self-locking property and loss of self-locking property. So in order to overcome these difficulties, differential or compound screw as discussed below. So we can discuss it below. So what is differential and compound screw? So first you can discuss about the differential screw. When the slow movement or fine adjustment is desired in the precision equipment, then a differential screw is used. So this consists of two threads of the same height, same head. So the differential used to it consists of the two threads. So you can see the figures also. Two threads of the same head, that is right hand or left hand, but of different pitches. So you can see the figure that it has two threads in the same head, but pitches is different from the two threads, different pitches wound on the same cylinder or a different cylinder as shown in the figure. It may be noted that when the threads are wound on the same cylinder, the two nuts are employed as shown in the figure A. When the thread are wound on different cylinders, then only one nut is employed as shown in the figure B. So you can see the figure. So figure A and figure B. So figure A shows thread bound on the same cylinder. So the thread is wounded in the same cylinder is figure A. You can see the figure. So the P1 is the pitch of the nut and P2 is the another pitch of the nut. So weight W is applied from the both sides and the top and bottom, and the length L is the length, the distance between the center line to the total length of the handle is L1. The P is rotating the screw for clockwise rotation. When rotating the screw, the thread will be moved from up and down. So D2 is the outer diameter of the bolt. So this is the nut. So nut, by hatching you can see the nuts, two different nuts is applied. So in one single bolt. So one single bolt we can apply the two different nuts with the pitches is the two nuts is different from the two nuts. So this is the figure A. So you can see the figure B, thread wound on the different cylinders. So by applying, it has a one single nut, but cylinders is two different cylinders is applied. So D1 is the inside diameter of the nut and D2 is the outside diameter of the nut. So this is the hash length indicates the nut So weight W is the force apply from the load. So P1 is the pitch of the thread 1 and P2 is the pitch of the thread 2. But so the spindle L is the distance between the center line to the total length of the spindle L. This cylinder is rotates anti-clockwise rotation, so it will be arranged to the one single nut, but two different cylinders applied from the differential screw. This is the arrangement of the differential screw. In this case, each revolution of the screw cases of the nut to move towards or away from each other by a distance equal to the difference of the pitches. Let P1 is equal to pitch of the upper screw, D1 is equal to mean diameter of the upper screw, alpha 1 is the helix angle of the upper screw, and mu1 is the coefficient of friction between the upper screw and upper nut, that is equal to tan pi 1, where pi 1 is the friction angle, P2, D2 and alpha 2 and mu2 equal to corresponding values of the lower screw. So we know that the torque required to overcome the friction at the upper screw, T1 is equal to W into tan alpha 1 plus pi 1 into D1 by 2, that is equal to W into tan alpha 1 plus tan pi 1 by 1 minus tan alpha 1 tan pi 1 into D1 by 2. This is the equation number 1. Similarly, the torque required to overcome friction at the lower screw, T2 is equal to W into tan alpha 2 into pi 2 into D2 by 2, that is equal to W into tan alpha 2 plus tan pi 2 by 1 minus tan alpha 2 into tan pi 2 into D2 by 2. This formula you can like that, since we can see that tan A plus B. So the formula for the tan A plus B equal to tan A plus tan B by 1 minus tan A tan B. So this is the formula. So substituting these values, we can replace the A plus B, alpha minus alpha plus pi. So that's how you can see the equation. This is the equation number 2. Therefore, the total torque required to overcome friction at the thread surface, total torque T is equal to P1 into L, that is equal to T1 minus T2. When there is no friction between the threaded surface, then mu1 is equal to tan pi 1, that is equal to 0, and mu2 is equal to tan pi 2 equal to 0. Substituting these values in this above expression, we have T1 is equal, since T1 dash is equal to W tan alpha 1 into D1 by 2, T2 dash is equal to W tan alpha 2 into D2 by 2. Therefore, the total torque required when there is no friction, T0 is equal to T1 dash minus T2 dash, that is equal to W into tan alpha 1 into D1 by 2 minus W into tan alpha by 2 into D1 by 2, that is equal to W into P1 by, so since tan alpha 1 is equal to P1 by pi D1, tan alpha 2 is equal to P2 by pi D2. So substitute the values in above expression, W equal to P1 pi 1 D1 into D1 by 2 minus P2 pi 2 D2 into D1 by 2. So by cancellation, a D1 in numerator and denominator and D2 on the numerator and denominator. So common in the 2 pi. So W by 2 pi into P1 minus P2. This is the differential equation. So we know that the efficiency of the differential screw, efficiency eta is equal to T0 by T. Next, compound screw. When a fast movement is desired, the compound screw is employed. It consists of two threads of opposite hands, that is one right hand and the left hand, wound on the same cylinder or different cylinders, as shown in the figure A and figure B respectively. In this case, each revolution of the screw case the nut to move towards one another equal to the same sum of the pitches of the thread. So usually the pitch of the both threads are made equal. So we know that the torque required to overcome friction at the upper screw. So T1 is equal to W tan alpha 1 plus pi 1 into D by 2, that is equal to W into tan alpha 1 plus tan alpha pi 1 by 1 minus tan alpha 1 tan pi 1 into d1 by 2. So this is the equation number 1. So you can see the figure. This is the figure A and figure B. So this figure looks like the same as like a compound cylinder, differential screw, threaded wound on the same cylinder, threaded wound in the different cylinders. So similarly, torque required to overcome friction at the lower screw, T2 is equal to W tan alpha 2 plus pi 2 into D2 by 2, that is equal to W tan alpha 2 plus tan pi 2 by 1 minus tan alpha 2 tan pi 2 into D2 by 2. So this is the equation number 2. Therefore, the total torque required to overcome friction on the threaded screw, T is equal to P1 into L1, that is equal to T1 plus T2. So where there is no friction between the thread surface, then mu1 is equal to tan pi 1 equal to 0 and mu2 is equal to tan pi 2 equal to 0. So substituting those values in above expressions, so substitute the values 1 and 2, equation 1 and equation 2, we have T1 dash is equal to W into tan alpha 1 into D1 by 2. T2 dash is equal to W tan alpha 2 into D2 by 2. So therefore, total torque required when there is no friction, total torque T0 is equal to T1 dash plus T2 dash, that is equal to W tan alpha 1 into D2 by 2 plus W tan alpha 2 into D2 by 2. So since tan alpha 1 is equal to P1 by pi into D1, tan alpha 2 is equal to P2 pi D2. So substitute the values in the above expression. So W equal to P1 by pi into D1 by 2 plus P2 by pi into D2 into P2 by 2. So cancellation of D1 and D2 are numerator and denominator, and also D2 and D2. So cancellation to D1, both sides are numerator and denominator, and similarly D2 also. So 1 by 2 is common for both expression. So you can common the both. So W by 2 pi into P1 plus P2. So we can calculate in the total torque formula is W by 2 pi into P1 plus P2 plus there is no friction, but no friction is applied, so we can torque formula is T0 is equal to W by 2 pi into P1 plus P2. Similarly, so no torque is applied, no friction, so you can calculate in differential formula. So W is equal to T0 is equal to W by 2 pi into P1 minus P2. So this is the differential formula. This is the compound screw formula. So finally you can calculate the efficiency of the compound screw. So efficiency eta is equal to T naught by T. So we can calculate the efficiency also. So next, so we can problems on differential screw jack. So this is the one example problem for the differential and compound screw. So first, let us start the problem. The differential screw jack to be made shown by figure. So you can see the figure. So neither screw rotates, the outside screw diameter, so D0 is 50 mm. The screw threaded of the square form single start and quotient of frictional thread, quotient of friction mu is equal to tan pi equal to 0.15 already given. So we can determine the efficiency of the screw jack. Load that can be lifted if the shear stresses in the body of the screw is limited to 28 megapascals. So you can see the figure already given in the problem. So the RH screw 16 mm pitch. So this is a 12 mm pitch. So this is the nut. So two differential screws applied. So given data, given D0 outside diameter D0 is equal to 50 mm. So mu tan alpha is equal to 0.15. Pitch P1 equal to 16 mm and P2 is equal to 12 mm. Tau max is equal to 28 megapascal. This will be 28 newton per mm square. So this is the data given in the problem. So next we can calculate the efficiency of the screw jack. So first we can calculate efficiency of the screw jack. That means, so we know that the mean diameter of the upper screw. So mean diameter of the upper screw D1 is equal to D0 minus P1 by 2. So D0 is equal to 50 minus P1, pitch 16 by 2, that is equal to 8. 50 minus 8, that is equal to 42. So, and we can calculate the main diameter of the lower screw. D2 is equal to D0 minus P2 by 2, that is 50 minus 12 by 2, that is equal to 6. 50 minus 6, that is equal to 44 mm. So we are calculating the main diameter of the upper screw and lower screw. So D1 and D2, D1 is equal to 42 mm, D2 is equal to 44 mm. So therefore we can calculate the tan alpha 1 equal to P1 into pi D1, that equals 16 into pi into 42, that equals 0.1212. This is the tan alpha 1, and tan alpha 2 is equal to P2 by pi D2, that is equal to 12 into pi into 44, that equal to 0.80868. So let W is equal to load that can be lifted. So W is the total load that can be lifted is N. So we know that the torque required to overcome the friction, the upper screw. So first we can calculate torque required to the upper screw. T1 is equal to W into tan alpha 1 plus pi 1 into D1 by 2. That equal to W into tan alpha 1 plus tan pi 1 by 1 minus tan alpha 1 tan pi 1 into D1 by 2. So substituting the values, so T1 is equal to W into, so W is not given, so we can calculate the W, tan pi 1, so 0.1212 plus tan pi 0.15 by 1 minus 0.1212 into 0.15 into 42 by 2. So finally we can calculate T1 is equal to 5.8 W. So note at mm. So substitute this is assuming this is equation number 1. Similarly, the torque required to overcome the friction at the lower screw. Next we can calculate the torque required to the friction at lower screw. So T2 is equal to W into tan alpha 2 minus pi. So upper screw is alpha plus pi. So lower screw is alpha minus pi. D2 by 2. So W into tan alpha 2 minus tan pi by 1 plus tan alpha 2 into tan pi into D2 by 2. So substitute in the values, T2 is equal to W into 0.0868 minus 0.15 by 1 plus 0.08868 into 0.15 into 44 divided by 2. So we can calculate the value, that is equal to T2 equal to minus 1.37 W Newton mm. So this is assuming this is equation number 2. Therefore, so efficiency of this screw jack. So finally you can calculate the efficiency of this screw jack. Efficiency eta is equal to T naught by T, that equal to 0.67636 into W by 7.17 W. So the cancellation in numerator denominator by W. So efficiency eta is equal to 0.0887 or 8.87%. Efficiency eta is equal to 8.87%. So next you can calculate the load that can be lifted. So how much load can be lifted in the screw jack, in the differential or compound screw of the screw jack. Since the upper screw is subjected to a large torque, therefore load to be lifted W will be calculated on the basis of large torque T1. So we know that the core diameter of the upper screw DC1 is equal to D0 minus P1, that is equal to 50 minus 16 equal to 34 mm. Since the screw is subjected to direct compressive stresses due to a load W and the shear stress due to the torque T1, so therefore direct compressive stress sigma C is equal to W by AC1, that is equal to W by pi by 4 into DC square. Substitute the values, W by pi by 4 into 34 whole square, that equal to W by 908 Newton mm square. So this is the compressive stress sigma C, and the shear stress tau is equal to 16 into T1 by pi into DC1 whole cube, that equal to 16 into T1 5.8 W by pi into 34 whole cube, that equal to W by 1331 Newton per mm square. So next we can calculate we know that the maximum shear stress tau. So maximum shear stress formula tau is equal to 1 by 2 into square root of sigma C whole square plus 4 tau square. So substituting the values, that is equal to 1 by 2 into square root of sigma c w by 908 whole square plus 4 into tau w by 1331 whole square. So that is equal to 1 by 2 into square root of 1.213 into 10 power minus 6 omega w square plus 2.258 into 10 power minus 6 w square. That is equal to 1 by 2 into, so now calculating the value, 1.863 into 10 power minus 3 w. So this is the total value. So finally we will calculate the w. Therefore w is equal to 28 into 2 by 1.863 into 10 power minus 3. So you can calculating that equal to 30,060 Newton. So this will be converted to kilonewton. Therefore weight of the load W is equal to 30.06 kilonewton. So this is the load can be lifted in the screw jack. So total load is 30 kilonewton of the load can be lifted of the screw jack. This is the problems on screw jack and differential components. And so this is the last topic from the design of the power screw. So you can complete at the second unit also. Thank you.